I found that sometimes in certain situations that I was glad that I had two flashlights on me. And one of them is always a wind-up light. And the reason is I don't have to rely on a battery. All right, so there were times when I'd gotten turned around, or I was on a long night hike, and I had a while to make it back. And I knew that this battery in here, I had already had some time on it, right? So I wasn't sure how well it was going to hold up over the course of an hour, hour and a half, because I needed constant light, okay? So, you know, you're not going to change your battery, right? You're not going to change your battery every time you go out. So there's going to be times when you're going to have life left in your battery, okay? Maybe a half hour of good light left. And there's going to be times where you've got, you know, a few hours, right? Your battery's new. So, you know, you don't want to waste your batteries either and get rid of batteries that are, you know, maybe only have 45 minutes left on them and you know, start that whole rigmarole. So that was the reasoning, you know, that was the reasoning that I had used one of these in the first place, was that I didn't want to really have to rely on batteries too much. Okay, so this here is great. If you do wear something around your neck, then you want to turn it on and clip it to do something right here and have this dangle. It's perfect for that. I've even done this, right? Held it in my mouth, stirred something if I was cooking at night, done things like that, and it's coming great. It doesn't give, if as any of you know who have wind-up lights, they don't really give a concentrated beam. It's sort of just it's not a spotlight, if you will. It's more of a floodlight. It sort of gives you know, a broader area, but nothing real intense. But it's good enough if you're just sort of trail walking, or like in my instance, I had to do some bushwhacking before I got to a trail. And I knew it was going to take a while in this instance that I was mentioning earlier. And I've had other instances like that where I knew that I was quite a ways away from where I needed to be and it was nighttime. I'm not going to pull out of a great hike because, you know, I'm not sure of the batteries I have in one of these headlamps. The one great thing about the headlamp, okay, is that it's excellent, you know, to have both hands free. The downside is in the summer, you have every gnat and moth flying at your head. And so unless you're tent camping, that could become an issue. And it was for me, because I've never really have gone tent camping. So that was an issue. The other issue is this, is if you have hats like this, you wear baseball hats, which most people do, it doesn't really feel right, okay? So you need to either have like a bandana or take your hat off to do whatever it is that you are doing. If you're wearing a full-brimmed hat, you got to take that off as well. So the other answer, too, to this could be one of these here, and these are just these clip-on lights. And these work great, and they are adjustable. You can shine it back in your own eyes if you want to see what it's like, you know, to be standing directly in traffic. But yeah, and so you can angle them down to read, to do whatever. This gives you two-handed option. And it also, and I've done this too in a pinch, and done whatever it was I was doing. I always do this like I'm cooking or stirring something, because usually that's when you would need a quick light, is if you're making something a little bit later at night, even stirring in coffee or doing things like that. Are flashlights and things necessary? No, I wouldn't say that they're necessary. They do make life a lot easier, and I try not to be very dependent on them. but sometimes they are nice. It is a comfort out there, and I do enjoy bushwhacking around and stuff at night, and it happens to work out great. This is always in my haversack, and I try to roll with the two flashlight system because it is relatively light. And this package here could get you out of a huge mess. You could keep something like this in your haversack and keep something like this when you know nightfall's coming and you're all cozy in your camp. You can put something like this in your pocket. Okay, make sure you don't have it turned on or it doesn't turn on accidentally and you run the battery down inside your pocket. But those are always options. So this way you have a quick light on you. If you need to go over here, go over there, boom, you can put it on. I usually wear a baseball cap. And I do carry some buff headwear, and I almost always have one on me out in the bush, folded up in my back pocket. And I usually do wear them more so at night because I want to get all available, light that I can from the moon, into my eyes. So even just removing a hat like this, obviously you're going to get more light. So in that instance, if you wanted, you could use the headband to it. The other nice thing too about this is if you happen to be in an area or sitting in an area where you have a small limb here, you can tie this and leave this dangling to do whatever it is that you're doing. Say you have something cooking, Dutch oven, your billy pot on a tripod. You could rig a stick up that just goes temporarily on your tripod, wind this baby up, turn it on, and have it shining down in the soup, stew, whatever it is that you're cooking. Of course, shut it off, and the whole thing comes off. So there's a lot of little things you can do with these. And like I said, while they don't provide the best light, they provide a lot of light. I don't know. The one I had before this lasted me years, and I've already had this one here for probably 4 or 5 years. And I've used it, and I've dropped it, and it's been in the rain, and it's been in everything imaginable with me. And this is the old trusty. So I recommend if you don't want to have to get back to your truck or your Jeep or your car before dark, I recommend maybe you roll with a 2 flashlight system and save your batteries, save your hands-free options for when maybe you really need them, and you can rely on something like the wind-up for your just sort of everyday trail walking at night type of stuff. Quick lighting where you don't need a lot of real good light, and you can reserve your battery and give yourself peace of mind. What do they always say? 2 is 1, 1 is none, right? You carry a few knives on you for the scenario that could possibly arise, that you can't cut something that you need, but you're going to need vision. And if you're in the dark, you could be doing complete circles 100 yards from your truck if you don't know where you are, and forced to spend the night and wake up in the morning feeling like a dunce because your truck is right there. But of course you can't see it at night. And as you know, when there's leaves and stuff on the trees, summertime foliage and things like that, you don't get a lot of moonlight. There's no snow on the ground to even reflect the ground, and in many instances you can't see your hand in front of your face. So do not underestimate the importance of flashlights for the nighttime setting. Thank you, and take care.